good afternoon. My name is Mark Paddenberg, CEO of the Innovation Centre. It's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. On behalf of my team, the board of the Innovation Centre, our shareholders, the University of the Sunshine Coast, our Health Accelerator partners, Quantum, Sunshine Coast Health Institute, Suncare and numerous others, thank you for being here today. Firstly, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the campus land, the Gubbi Gubbi people, and their ancestors past, present and future. I'd also like to acknowledge our members, and normally when we ring that bell, they either know the bar's open or one of our members has just hit a major milestone and cracked $1 million revenue target, or it's a backup evacuation tone. So they should be coming down soon. It's a little bit earlier, the bar normally opens a bit later, but I do know that many of our members are upstairs and still beavering away trying to close a few deals, but they will join us shortly. I'd also like to thank Anton Sanka, who was here earlier, and the Sunshine Coast Health Institute. They're our predominant partner in delivering this program. Also Tamara and Jen from Quantum. Great to have them on board. They're in the process of Quantum setting up a $200 million medtech venture capital fund, and Tamara's our program director. Also I'd like to acknowledge Tracy from Oz Industry, Thomas from Redship Lawyers, Ross from Radby, Neil from Pool Group Accountants, Doug from Innovate Media, and Kobe from Script, and I think Anne from, hey Kobe, and Anne from the Sunshine Coast Council. So as many of you will know, health is the fastest growing sector on the Sunshine Coast, and we know that innovation will play a big part in driving positive systemic change and enhanced patient care. That's one of the main reasons we established the Health Accelerator program, the first in the region, and we're halfway through cohort 1 with 10 companies participating in the program. And that's their logos, and you're going to hear more from those founders very shortly. They're going to do a 1-minute pitch as a sneak preview for you here today. That's just a screenshot of our Health Accelerator. So if you know anyone in this sector or likely to be interested in this sector, applications are open for 2019 and all the information's under programs. I'd now like to introduce Tamara, who's as I said, our program director, and she's going to tell you a little bit more about the Health Accelerator program and then introduce our 10 pitches. So welcome, Tamara.
So I won't bore you with telling you about myself, because I know you're all here to hear from the amazing 10 startups that we have in the accelerator. But before we jump into that, I just wanted to give a brief overview of what this accelerator is all about and how it's structured. So I wear many hats at the moment. So as Mark said, I'm in the process of raising a $200 million fund to invest in the health and medical space, predominantly in companies and assets across Australasia, because there's a huge funding gap here, as many of you in the audience may be aware of if you're within the health space. But I also work for MIT part-time in coaching startups that come out of their innovation entrepreneurship program. So I've had the benefit of going through the MIT framework to build startups, hundreds of times now with many, many different companies. And I've seen the value of that framework. And we were very lucky to get MIT on board to allow us to implement that framework as part of the Australian Health Accelerator. And the first 5 modules, which we just finished module 5 today, so give the cohort a round of applause for getting there. The first 5 modules have been built off that MIT framework and go right from the beginning of really validating the problem all the way through to understanding the unit economics of your lifetime value of the customer and cost of customer acquisition, all the fun financial aspects which we burdened the teams with today. The future modules that we have coming up, we're really leveraging the networks that we have in Queensland to bring some people that have achieved amazing things, both in building their own companies, the best and brightest in marketing, branding, finance, capital raising, right here to the Sunshine Coast to share their experiences, insights and best practices with the teams that are part of the Australian Health Accelerator. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but we have some pretty major objectives in putting this program together and what we want to deliver and support the teams to achieve while they're part of the program for the 6 months. And ultimately, our goal is to help these companies scale and land customers and ultimately be sustainable companies that are going to be really successful, and the next companies that you'll see on the front page of the paper in the years to come. And we've already had great success with a number of the teams in the cohort that have already managed to secure some customers through the networks that they've been able to get in touch with here through Sunshine Coast Hospital, Prince Charles Hospital, and it's really exciting to see the traction that these teams are making in such a short amount of time.